What's going on, everyone? Trevor Hanson, Team Superboats athlete. I'm really excited to be sitting in the 2022 freshly redesigned SL550. I've had the SL for the past few years. I had a 2018 version. It was one of the first ones that they made, actually, and I fell in love with the SL. And I'm really excited to show you guys all the changes that they made in this redesign for the new 2022s. They've made a lot of changes, some that were subtle and some that were major, and it really makes the new SL that much better than the old one, and I'm really excited to show you guys why. So one of the coolest things about the new SL is the entire shape of the whole boat. It's a complete redesign. So the boat got a little bit deeper, it got bulkier, it's heavier. Everything about the outside of the boat, the lines, everything changed. It's got a really cool, new, unique look to the side. Little step down rail right towards the tower. It's just a really cool looking boat. One thing that I really like about the hull change on the new SL is the redesigned surf locker. The surf locker is one of my favorite features. It's something I use every day and every single time I go out on the boat. Whether we're surfing or if we're just out riding, I'm always throwing gear in there, especially my wet gear. It opens the exact same, but the opening is a little bit more squared off and there's just a little bit more room. It's a lot easier to get your surfboards in and out, and you can actually fit an extra board in there. Super nice. Another added benefit to the surf locker being a little bit more squared off and having that design is just how comfortable it is to sit back here. Gives you a little bit more space. The old one was a little bit more rounded. This one's a little bit more squared off. Cup holder, the radio remote, everything's just nice, conveniently located. It's just a great spot to sit and hang out while you're getting ready to ride. So the couple of the features that are on the 22 SL we actually have had for a couple of years, but we've made some improvements and some upgrades to them. I'm coming out of a 2018 boat, so I didn't have these flip-up seats on the back. They've been available for the past couple years, but we've improved the mechanism and the way that they operate. So when you flip up this back seat, it's just an awesome place to sit. When my kids get in the boat, it's one of the first things that they do. They run to the back, flip up the seat. Everyone wants to sit back here. It's super comfortable. When you integrate the Chiltec vinyl, the new surf locker, the way that the cup holders and everything are positioned in the boat, it just makes it a really comfortable place to sit, and it's one of my family's favorite features. Something else that we've had for the past couple years is the walkthrough. Me being in a 2018 before, I did not have the walkthrough, so I'm really excited to have the walkthrough now. But something that is new from the 22 is the addition to Gator Step. Having Gator Step on the walkthrough and having Gator Step throughout the entire boat, man, it's just such an awesome material. It's really comfortable on your feet. It's easy to keep clean, and it's just been a really nice addition to the look and the feel of the SL. So one thing that you notice right away when you look at the 2022 SL is the redesigned shape. How big it is, how deep it is. It's a big, awesome boat. And one of the advantages to doing that is that the boat actually got a little bit heavier, so we added some extra weight there, and then we added some extra ballast. We had a little bit more room under the floor, so we added some extra ballast. So now you got 4,000 pounds of ballast. Instead of the old, I think it was like 3,200. Plus, with it being a couple hundred pounds heavier as a boat in general, you've got almost 1,000 pounds of additional ballast. So the wake and the wave on this thing is unreal right out of the box. You'll find when you go out and surf, it's 100% the best stock wave that I've ever surfed on, and the wakeboard wake's the same as well. We're riding, I had Nick Rappa out the other day riding, world champion rider, best rider out there in the world right now, and when he came out and rode, we only had me in the boat and a couple hundred pounds of lead of additional weight. And he was throwing everything that he does, all his double flips and 1080s and all that stuff. So the wake's really, really sick. So that's some of my favorite stuff that's on the back of the boat. Let's jump up into the cockpit and check out some of those features. So as you jump into the cockpits of the new SL, there's some pretty subtle changes with the interior, some new stitching on the Chiltec that looks really cool. And when you first get in it, you're like, oh man, there's not a whole lot that's super different until you actually dive into it. One of the biggest changes is the rear-facing seat. Now, instead of it flipping backwards and flipping into place, it slides back, and it's got a couple of unique options. So when you grab this and slide it back into place and it drops in, it turns into a table first, but it's an upraised table. So before it just kind of flipped over and you didn't have that raised feeling. Now you've got the Gator Step on the sides, makes it really nice when you set any food or anything on there. It's kind of got a non-skid so it's not sliding around. You've got your cup holders, and then when you're done with the table, you can flip it into your rear facing seat, It's super comfortable, and it just makes this chair so much more user-friendly. Gives you a bunch of different options. It's definitely one of my favorite features in the new cockpit. Another thing that I really like that they did this year with the new SL is just some subtle things with some storage. So this seat, it actually used to go all the way underneath. This year they've got a divider in there so that when you put stuff in this, I like to keep all my buoys and dock lines and all the ropes and everything in there. And it's just nice that it doesn't migrate towards the back now, that it's actually got a spot where it stays there. So when I put something in there, when the boat's up and running, it doesn't ever slide back and I don't have to worry about not being able to find it. This is something that I really like. The PTM tower was one of my favorite features on my old boat. Having the ability to fold the tower down when you want to get it out of the weather, put a full cover on it has always been something that I've loved. Still love doing that. There's been a couple other things that I have on this boat that I didn't have on my last one. Mainly the surf tow points. Having these on each side to be able to have the rope, whether I'm pulling a beginner and trying to get them on that side of the wave to where they can easily get outside and catch the wave, or if it's an advanced surfer and I don't want to have to pull the rope in every time, I can just hook it up on the opposite side. When they let go of the rope and throw it out, it just stays out of their way and I can easily pick them up and get them the rope without having to pull it in every time. It's probably one of the most underrated features on the entire boat, especially if you surf all the time. So a few other subtle changes that I really have enjoyed using on the new boat are the way that they integrated the tower speakers into the dash. So the way the software works with the zone controls makes it very easy to control your volume of just the tower speakers in relation to the entire boat. So if I want to have just the tower speakers on, or turn them off completely. It's very, very easy to do that. So some super cool changes to the observer seat. One being the flip up seat that's right here in front. When this flips up now, you've got a nice long backrest. It actually makes it a much more comfortable place to sit than it was before. And then we also eliminated the little area that was in between here before. So now you can simply slide in, you've got a place to sit for your feet. There's a JL subwoofer in here, and that area just makes for a nice little sound box. It makes the stereo sound really good. It's a single piece observer chair, so it folds up in one piece. That allows us to do a heated observer seat, which is very nice. And then you've got all of your audio controls and stereo controls right here in the dash. It's an awesome place to sit for the observer. So coming out of my 2018 SL, there's a lot of changes here in the dash for me. I had just the single screen without the second screen over here, and different captain's chair, different steering wheel, everything was different. A lot of the layout's been the same for the past couple years, but some of the new features inside the software and then the new steering wheel, I really like it. The steering wheel is very comfortable. It looks great. All of the buttons are easy to get to. They're good buttons too. When you press them, you know that you've pressed something and that you're gonna get some operation out of it, which I really like. We did away with the switches on the back that ran the wake plate and the speed, which I thought I was gonna miss, but we added them as buttons on the back of the steering wheel. And they're a little bit hard to get to at first, but I really like that no one bumps them. There's no risk of accidentally hitting anything and changing your speed or changing your wake plate while someone's walking by and accidentally hitting it, so I really like that. The way that they've done the software in the screens is really nice. They've made it to where now, instead of having to scroll through pages to find all your information, everything is already on the screen. So you've got kind of the screen split up into thirds. So you've got 3 different areas on the screen that's showing you your information, and everything that you want to see, from your stereo controls to your seat and light settings to your auto wake and ballast. Everything is already up on the screen so that you can simply just look over it, see if it's on, and make any changes. And that's really nice to have everything up and running, and you don't have to scroll through any pages to find what you want. So I have to admit, something that I definitely did not think that I was going to like or appreciate in the boat was the thrusters. It was something that I, as a professional driver and someone that's been in boats my whole life, thought was very unnecessary. But man, now that I have them on this boat, I don't think I'd be able to live without them. They make not only pulling into the dock and the boat ramp and anywhere that you want to go so much easier, but they actually have some pretty user-friendly tools when it comes to getting surfers in the right spot. So when I'm pulling a surfer, if I'm trying to get them directly behind the boat, I can simply just bump the thruster in either direction, The way that they've integrated it right here into the throttle makes it very easy to use. And for being something that I didn't think was necessary to be on the boat in the first place, it's become one of my favorite features on the entire boat. So from the very first time that I stepped foot on the new redesigned SL, my eyes took me directly to the bow because it's got the most visual changes on the entire boat. They really did some pretty cool stuff on the bow to make it unique and to make it really user-friendly. First of all of the seat cushions are now on hinges, which makes it really nice. Before, I was always fumbling with pulling the seat cushion out, having to set it somewhere so that I could get to whatever gear I was putting down there, whether it was my anchor or life jackets. Now they're all on hinges. I just pull it up. It makes it really easy to get to everything. The way that they integrated all of the armrests into the bow has got to be one of my favorite things in the entire boat. You've got 2 armrests on the side that have integrated cup holders, which makes it really nice. You can keep your drink right there. And then when you flip down these 2 armrests, you can easily fit 3 people. Once you flip up this windscreen that's got the seat cushion on the back, you've got 3 people that can sit up here comfortably. It just makes it super nice. The way they did the gator step on the back side, so that when you don't have your cushions, you flip it over and you've got a clean walkthrough to access the bow. They just really thought of everything. My kids, I've got 2 young kids, when they bring their friends on the boat, when they're not fighting over who sits on the back, they're always fighting over who sits in the bow. It's one of their favorite places and they spend all day up here, and they're super happy with it, and I am too. You're really gonna like all the changes that they made to this thing. So that's it, guys. Thanks for checking out the brand new redesigned 2022 SL 550. We're here at my house. I've had the SL since it was first released in 2018 and fell in love with it there. And I'm just really happy to have this 2022 here on the dock. Using it every day for my camps, all the pro riding and photo shoots that we do. The systems are super easy to use. All the new features on the boat have been fantastic. And the wake and the wave are just huge on this thing. So it's been a real honor to have it. I definitely can't wait for you guys to check it out. So head on down to your local dealership or head over to superboats.com and build one for your own. You guys are going to absolutely love this new SL.